Tennessee's Education Department is creating a pipeline in hopes of bringing more teachers to the state.
Tennessee became the first state in the country to have a permanent grow your own model.
The program covers tuition and gives teacher candidates job guarantees.
Tennessee now has 9 total approved EPP programs, offering registered teacher apprenticeships to 30-plus districts and serving 200-plus candidates. This builds on the nearly 650 candidates served through the initial 65 district EPP partnerships that started in 2020.
We're going to take the nationally accredited Montessori teacher training program that we already offered at a small scale, but now expand its impact through both state-level support and local workforce development engagement, permitting us to bring this opportunity to a wider array and a more diverse pipeline of candidates to become teachers for our children.
What we could teach other states is kind of about the power of collaborating. So not just us with, the Grow Your Own Center, but us with our partnership districts, listening to what they've learned through the process, also listening to our students.
Apprenticeships really make sense as a teacher preparation model, and I hope that the lessons we learn in Tennessee will spread throughout the nation and that this will become the new norm in teacher preparation.
Collaborations and discussions that we've been able to have with our partners, I think, has drawn us all closer to be able to better understand what their needs are. And if we can meet their needs and keep this going, I think we'll have a huge pipeline for the future, for sure.
The program serves to remove some of the major barriers for people to go into education.
And in working with the Department of Labor, there are extra costs that can be covered to assist students in attending, assist them with child care, assist them with transportation.
All of those different financial supports are there to help them through this process, which is why a lot of them will explain that that's somewhat an obstacle, has been one of the barriers in the past, and we're very fortunate through the Grow Your Own program that we can support them that way.
The program allows me to be in a real classroom with a teacher where I can receive instant feedback and learn on the spot.
I'm learning so much about myself and the style of teaching and the type of teacher that I want to become.
I always wanted to be a teacher. It was always my dream, but I never had the resources or the opportunity to do this. So this has been a wonderful program. It's been perfect for me, and if anything, I'm proof that it's never too late to get that career going and fulfill your dreams. So
this is something I wouldn't absolutely be able to do if I wasn't in this program the way it is now, because life happens, and I'm 41 years old, so this is not, I wouldn't be able to do it the traditional way.
We had an apprentice who was very dedicated, very enthusiastic, a young single mom with 2 little bitty kids, and she had trouble getting to work because her car just wasn't going to make it. The apprenticeship program with the Workforce Essentials, they were able to pay to have her car fixed, give her gas money, pay for daycare for her children, and suddenly what looked like the end of the road for this young single mom, suddenly she had a future.
This partnership combines education and workforce development in a way no other state has done before. The Grow Your Own initiative will help cultivate great teachers in our state for years to come. Removing as many barriers as possible between a person getting their education and their job is critical. This no-cost opportunity to earn while you learn is a tremendous incentive for individuals to consider teaching as their profession.
I think that we have seen in Tennessee and across the country real efforts to create more pathways to teaching, to support teachers in different ways.
Education is the great equalizer, it really is. And so to be able to do that and have a front-hand seat at impacting the next generation of leaders, who wouldn't want to do that? So by all means, I would encourage anyone who wants to be a teacher, go for it.
This one. Good, I hang my coat up on it.
It's so nice to be here to celebrate what I think is some of the most impactful work that we have done in the state of Tennessee in a very, very long time, and that is to celebrate our teachers and to know that we have created a path to make it free to become a teacher while you get paid to do so. I think that video says it better than anything else. There are future teachers all around us, all across the state, who have a dream. They want to be in a classroom. They want to serve kids. They want to serve kids in their communities. And there might have been a lot of reasons why that wasn't possible. Life gets in the way, finances get in the way, you have kids and a mortgage and everything else, and you just don't see the path to have your dream come true. And I know there are lots of folks who want to be teachers. I was very blessed and lucky to be raised by one, and to marry one, and to be the sister to one, and the niece and the nephew, and the best friend and the friend. And it's because when you surround yourself with educators, you're surrounding yourself with people who care deeply about their communities, their state, the children in their communities, and salt of the earth. So for this, when we were thinking about solving big problems as a state, one of the things that we talked a lot about, and I'm going to recognize Dr. Luna Veteran right in front of me, because she and I had lots of conversations about this. It was, how do we make it easier for people who want to be teachers to get into the profession? How do we remove financial barriers? How do we encourage folks to come forward and say, yes, I want to serve kids because I love kids. I believe that we can have them excel at the highest levels. And this is the future of our state. And the best way we can do that is to figure out how to get people in, remove the financial barriers, and ensure that they're successful, get the mentoring and support and training. And so what this program does, the first in the country to have teaching be recognizable as an apprenticeship, is groundbreaking. We have dozens of states who have contacted us and asked us for help. How do we build this in our states? How do we ensure that we can do the same type of work of Tennessee? We've been very lucky to have ed prep partners across the state who have done exceptional work, who have led in this work. We have district superintendents here who have shown that it is possible to move forward at a very bold and fast pace. We have General Assembly members and a governor who are committed, not just in the policy side, but on the financial side and the leadership to show that Tennessee is and will remain a front runner in terms of how we solve big, bold problems in this country. This is one of the biggest that we have. If we don't hear about teacher shortages every day on some news channel or blog or newspaper, then you're not reading or listening to the news. It's every day. And the one thing that I hear consistently, no matter what, is but Tennessee's worked to solve that problem. You know who's really gotten something done on this? It's Tennessee. And it's not just one person or agency or organization or college or university. It is the Tennessee way, which is everyone working together, rowing in the same direction to solve big, bold, aggressive problems, to do so quickly and act with urgency. And so today, I'm thrilled with my good partner over here, who will come after me, to announce that as a state, we are signing an MOU between the Tennessee Department of Education and the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development to ensure that 10% of available apprenticeship funding amounts will be specifically reserved every year to fund and continue in perpetuity the Tennessee Teaching Apprenticeship Program. This is the first time this has been done in our country. So it's a big deal, and we like being first. I know we all like being first. We like leading. We're just a little competitive. But it is going to continue to be a model for other states, that when you work together with your colleagues, not just within agencies, not just within your field, but across agencies and across fields, you can actually show that it isn't just one-time federal funds that are going to solve problems, because it won't. You can't rely on other people to solve your problems. You have to solve your own. And what this does is it puts a permanent commitment from two different agencies together to be able to say, we are going to fund this, we're going to make a commitment to our educators, we're going to make a commitment to our school districts to ensure every single one of our 1 million students has an exceptional, well-trained teacher in front of them every single day. It is a minimum expectation that we should have in public ed, a minimum expectation, and a promise we should give to every single parent in this state. And so I want to end just by saying thank you, most importantly, to our educators. They do the work every day in our classrooms. It is the hardest job I ever had, was teaching high school. I will say kindergarten kind of shook me up a little bit too, especially those first few months when you got the runners and they leave you. But it is the best hard job. And it is a job where, as a parent, I see the benefit of what my girls' teachers do every single day for them. And as a former teacher, and again, as a relative and friend of so many, I wish I had had the support, the counseling, the mentorship, the 2 to 3 years of on-the-ground in-classroom coaching and training before I stepped foot that first day in my first classroom in Baltimore. I think about my 187 students my first year of teaching and the teacher I could have been for them and wasn't, because I did not have the opportunities that this program allows for our kids and for our educators. And so for those who are going into the classroom who have seen barriers removed, thank you for joining what I think is the best profession on earth. For the ed preps who are doing the hard work of redesigning your programs, which I know is hard and I appreciate you, thank you very much for doing that, because it's going to make a difference. For our districts who are here, who are committing to sticking with us and getting this done and getting really great teachers in your classroom, thank you for your hard work and your leadership. It's making a huge difference. To Governor Lee, thank you for supporting us along this journey and really leading the rest of the country in terms of saying problems are just things to be solved, not things to prevent you from moving forward. So go around it, go over it, bust through it, whatever you need to do, but solve the problem. And General Assembly members, thank you. This literally would not be possible if you didn't give us the flexibility and room to run with the urgency and pace that absolutely is warranted in this day and age, especially for our kids. So I'm very excited to welcome my colleague up to the stage, and thank you all for your support of our students here in the great state of Tennessee.
Good morning. What an exciting day in Tennessee. You know, I've done lots of work in workforce development. This has to be the one that has put the biggest smile on my face for so many reasons. We hear about labor shortages. If you read the papers, Commissioner Schwinn said, you watch the news, labor shortages, where will we find the next workforce? This is an example of how we do it. We do it by working together. You've heard the word collaboration tossed around so much. But there's a difference in collaboration and meaningful collaboration. And this was a meaningful collaboration. This is an example of us recognizing there was a need and having the ability to solve it because we have amazing leadership. Governor Lee, thank you for allowing us to be bold and to be innovative. You don't get here by being safe. You get here, as Commissioner Schwinn said, by challenging what others said you cannot do and figuring out a way to get it done. We know how important it is to have educators teaching our kids. So we need a healthy pipeline, not just for the educators, but the educators that will teach our future workforce across the state of Tennessee. It's vital. All of these pieces work together. We help to solve barriers and mitigate them as much as we can in workforce development. We have some of those folks in the room today. There are individuals across our state who are dreaming every day but can't figure out how to make it work because childcare, transportation, and perhaps things that are more difficult to solve. But we don't want that to stop someone from fulfilling a lifelong dream of being an educator. What an amazing profession and what an amazing opportunity when we could say, you need your car fixed, we got it. That won't stop you. You need childcare, we got it. That's what we want to be in Tennessee, to say we got it and we have it and we mean it. And so Commissioner Schwinn, thank you for the call out. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. Governor Lee, thank you for allowing us to do this work. You know, we've been smiling, I think, ever since we talked about this MOU, and to bring it to bear today is exciting. To our General Assembly members, thank you so much for allowing us to do the great work that we do. This is not the first that we want to trailblaze. We want to get bigger and bolder and brighter every single day so we never have to worry about future educators in our state. To our Apprenticeship Tennessee team, you guys are the best in the country. I get the honor of working with you every day. Thank you to our local workforce providers, Marla Rye John. Thank you, because there are countless examples of how we're getting this done. And so we want to continue to be that beacon of hope across the nation. And under Governor Lee's leadership, I'm excited that we will continue to be. So thank you very much for being here today.
Morning. My name's Justin Roberts, and I'm the superintendent for Hamilton County Schools, and we've been pushing Grow Your Own for a number of years, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out Jesse Gray over here to my left. Jesse is driving this work in Hamilton County, and for partners at UTC like Dr. Wingate and others that have helped us push this forward, it's been a huge investment, not only time and energy, but it's an investment that's needed. As Commissioner Schwinn mentioned, if you pay attention at all to the news, teacher pipeline is an issue, and it's one that takes collaboration to solve. When I was speaking to Jesse about this event earlier, he said we can't let that narrative also change the narrative that he gets calls every day of people that are saying, I just want to be a teacher. We talk about removing barriers for students, but adults have barriers as well. And what this MOU will do is really remove a lot of barriers for people that want to be in the classroom. We talk all the time in Hamilton County about every student deserves a great teacher. And this MOU and Grow Your Own Pipeline, what it is doing is helping us put great teachers in front of kids. And we know that when that happens, we start to remove barriers for students. In Hamilton County, what we're seeing is this is also an overall retention help, not just for teachers, but we're seeing people that want to come in and get on the classified side because they see an avenue to become a teacher. And so it's not only fulfilling teaching jobs, but it's filling classified jobs and then creating momentum as we try to push great teachers into the classroom. The low-hanging fruit is obviously people that are coming to us with a 4-year degree. But we also know that we've got a lot of people that are coming to us with some experience in college, maybe a 2-year degree. And what Grow Your Own does is really accelerate their path to getting in the classroom. Heard a lot of people that talk about this, and one of the first questions that I get asked, I don't know if you guys get asked this, is what about the quality, right? We always talk about putting quality teachers in front of kids, and obviously we want that. What we're seeing in Hamilton County over the past 2.5 years of doing this work is that the Grow Your Own candidates, in terms of level of effectiveness, are just as good, and in many cases are outperforming traditional pathways. And that's not saying anything negative about traditional pathways, but the narrative that we're just putting anybody in front of students is not true. And we need to make sure that we're elevating the teaching profession and elevating the Grow Your Own pathway is one that is putting great teachers in front of kids. We know that the national scene around teacher recruitment is changing. We know that the dynamics are changing, and we have to change with it. I love the idea of leading the nation. In Hamilton County, we want to lead the state in this work, and what it takes is collaboration. I love seeing two departments, Department of Ed, Department of Workforce Development, that are willing to come together to solve a real problem, a problem that's affecting counties across Tennessee. It's going to take collaboration also with universities, and we're lucky enough to partner with people like UTC and Lee University, my alma mater, Lipscomb University, and University of Tennessee at Knoxville. So it's going to take partnerships across the state for us to do this work. I would also be remiss not to mention Greg Martin, our representative from Hickson, that is a champion for Hamilton County and a champion for teachers across the state. His wife is actually an educator in Hamilton County, so she does great work for us every day. Just want to say thank you before I end to Governor Lee for your leadership around this work, for recognizing that this is a problem and there are barriers, and your willingness to put yourself on the line to help us save it or to address it. To Commissioner Swin, Department of Ed, for everything you guys are doing to lead this work and to make sure that we're leading the nation and that Hamilton County is leading the state. And then also to Commissioner Thomas, your willingness to support the Department of Ed and recognize that this is a workforce development issue as well, not just for teachers, but as you said, we've got great teachers that are helping shape kids for the workforce moving forward. So thank you guys very much for this, and we talk in Hamilton County, and I hope that this is true across the state, that programs like this really set a foundation for our children to thrive and experience a future without limits. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Shaw. I'm the restorative interventionist at Halls High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. My pathway through education, when I was as far back as being a high school, middle school student, I was not the student that you wanted in your classroom. At one point, I actually had a desk permanently in the principal's office to make sure that I was doing my work. I was not the student that my mother or anybody else wanted me to be. However, I was pretty good at athletics, and my whole focus throughout school was I was going to go to college and play athletics. Started down that path, but life had different different route for me. I wound up fracturing my skull early on in my college and career, and wound up in the hospital and was told by multiple doctors, multiple people, that I would never graduate from college. I wish I could tell you that I didn't believe them and immediately set out to work to prove them wrong, but I didn't. I suffered through a lot of hard times because of that. Thankfully, I had one person in my life besides my mom who cared about me, and that was a former football coach of mine. He decided that I was not going to quit being his student just because I was 20 years old at the time. Coach Bam not only saved my life, he gave me the inspiration that I needed to continue my pursuit of education. I got back into college, and with the help of my beautiful wife, I wound up graduating. I graduated from the University of West Alabama in 2020 after 12 years of seeking a degree. The good part about that to me is that there's no start and end date on that. I finished, and that was important to me. I've had good people like Coach Bam who continue to push me. I wound up coming to Knoxville because of my wife. She is from here, or from there, and wound up coming here and moving to Tennessee after being in Alabama and Mississippi my entire life, leaving home, and I wasn't sure what the road had for me. Well, I wound up at Halls High School, coaching football, and was offered a job as a TA there by my principal, who's here with me, Mr. Long. Mr. Long took a chance on me. When nobody knew me, when he had no reason to take a chance on me, he did. After one semester of being a TA, the behavior interventionist spot opened up, and he gave me the opportunity to do that as well. Fast forward to this year, the Grow Your Own program came about, and Mr. Long had heard about it, and he thought that I would be a great candidate for it. He pushed me. As my boss, he pushes me every day. He continuously pushes the expectations for me to meet for our students. And he constantly reminds us as a staff that our students are the reason why we got into this business in the first place. If it wasn't for educators like Coach Bam, like Mr. Long, I would not be standing here today. I am a product of taking hard times and being pushed to success because people were there for me. And they cared more about me and my future than anything I could ever do for them in the classroom or on the field. Anybody, in my opinion, can learn to be an expert in a subject. I will probably forget more about football than most people will ever know. However, that does not make me effective as a coach. What makes me effective as a coach and eventually as a teacher is the fact that I have learned to care for my students and care for my players because of people like Coach Bam, like Mr. Long, and like my mother. I just wanted to take this time to share that with you and to say thank you for everything that you're doing, because as a soon-to-be father myself, there's no way I could possibly afford to go back to school and to become the teacher that I dream of being. That dream is simply this: if it wasn't for those people impacting my life, I would not be here. My obligation is to invest that back into the future with my students. And I plan to spend the rest of my career doing that. And it's because of the decisions that you all have made that that is a possibility. So for everyone who will ever be impacted in a positive way in the future, I just want to say thank you. Because we are going to change lives because you have given people like me the opportunity to have their lives changed. Thank you so much for giving me the time to share that today, and have a good one.
Hello, everybody. My name is Crystal Anderson. I've been with Rutherford County Schools as a special education assistant for 7 years. I graduated from Tennessee State University with an engineering and technology degree. I started my journey in education I started my journey in education as a substitute teacher. I substituted for about 3 to 4 years. I was noticed by the local teachers at my school. They saw what was in me and they said, hey, we need to offer her a job position. So that's how I became a SPED EA, through my local teacher seeing that I had the skill set to become an assistant and the skill set to teach. My journey continued on in education as a SPED EA. I also, sorry, my phone went out. A little nervous there. So as I became a SPED educator, I dealt with children with disabilities, and also children that are in regular education. As I continued on with these students, we gained a community, a big community, and that's what it's a part of. Being a teacher is being in a big community and servicing your community, and that is what I do. When offered the Grow Your Own program, I said, hey, why not me? I'm doing the job. I am an EA. I service the kids every day. Why not service the kids on the next level? I can give them more attention to their education, and also continue to push them even more and get to know their community and their background with their family. So that's why I decided to join the apprentice program. Also, it is a great opportunity for teachers or EAs who are already in the program and doing the job that, you know, finances can be hard because we don't make as much as teachers. But we want to continue on servicing the community, so that's why this opportunity was great for us, because you're offered to go back to school, not out of your pocket. So then we're grateful and thankful for that. Also, the timing. Time is, we're in school from 7 to 8:30. I mean 7 to 3:30, 3:30 to 8:30 or something like that. So we need to be flexible in time. We don't all the time have to get, you know, we get off at 3:30 and we have to get to university. That's not really reasonable. So therefore, we also enjoy that y'all have made the time flexible so we can do online, like Zoom and all that, and it helps out. So I'm thankful and grateful for this opportunity to do this. I'm doing the job. I continue to want to do the job. We are the underscores of the educational assistant. We are the assistants pushing our teachers. Our teachers push us, and the students push us also. So that's why we're doing the job, and that's why we're appreciative of the opportunity to do the job, because we're already doing the job, and we love servicing our students. Thank you. Have a great day.
I kind of hate to follow that. Crystal and David, I have 9 grandchildren. I hope that they get teachers like you. I hope that they engage in someone who is as passionate and committed to pulling them along and pushing them forward and challenging them as you two will be in the classroom. So those are inspiring stories, and remind me just how incredibly important what's happening here is today. And to those that are prepping teachers and creating them, those who are leaders in districts, those who are teaching children, this is a very exciting thing for our state. So I used to be in the construction industry, and we had an apprenticeship training program and have had for decades in the construction industry, because we know that without workers to follow behind the workers that are there, we can never meet the needs of a growing community. And so I've chaired committees of other companies that we ran thousands of people through apprenticeship programs, and I understood real clearly how companies, how employers work together with those who need work but who also need to be skilled up to become the skilled tradespeople. And that's exactly what we're doing with teachers. We desperately need skilled tradespeople, skilled teachers, called individuals that are the best and the brightest. We have them in this state, but everybody knows that America desperately needs more. And we've got to inspire men like David, women like Crystal. We've got to inspire them and remind them why this particular profession can be one of the absolute most powerfully meaningful professions of any that you could choose. I married a teacher. I'm married to a former teacher. I am so delighted every time we go somewhere and some now 25-year-old runs up to Miss Danena, who was her 3rd grade and 4th grade teacher, and tells them what an impact she had on their life. We have a need to not only create an environment for our teachers that is the best in the country, but to remove the barriers for them to step into that environment. And I think that's what Commissioner Thomas and Commissioner Schwinn have embarked upon here, and have found a way forward to remove those barriers, to allow more and more Tennesseans to step into the environment of transforming our children's lives going forward. And we got to make that happen. These are the moments that it's really fun to be a governor, because you get to see the work of so many passionate people that have come together and will. If you don't think those two people will change some young people's lives in the future, you're not thinking, because they're going to. And when we create that opportunity, then Tennessee has a bright future ahead. I had the privilege this past week to be with a bunch of other governors and people around the country, and we talked. And part of our conversation was shared practices, and part of that came by way of education. And I was very proud to talk about the things that Tennessee is doing, including this as a leading in the nation type approach to creating the best school systems in the country. We have work to do, but we have the passion in those who are engaged in this to accomplish that. I have so much excitement about what the future of education looks like going forward in our state, and thank you for leadership. So why don't you two come up and we'll do a little signing. I'll sit right back down and watch.